Bella, where do you think my papa comes from?
From California.
From California? Where in California?
Over there.
Over there? And how did he get here?
Get here. But his house is far away, so he come here.
How?
He drive a car.
Drive a car?
My papa came from El Salvador because there was a war and he came here by car and came here to California so he can get away from the war. He has told me that he was born at 1961. He was from El Salvador. He left because his home country was in a war. So his mom told him to come to the United States of America, so because his mom was worried and his mom was worried and thought if his son will get shot. So she sent him to the United States of America. A few days later, my dad grew up in the United States of America.
Hello, I'm from El Salvador. My name is Eduardo. I talk a little bit the memories when I used to live there. It was very nice in the beginning. Have a lot of friends, go to school, go listen to music. We grew up with the Rolling Stones, music like, Pink Floyd, that kind of music. But then later on things changed. There was like a war start, like Civil War. We used to go sometimes to a park, go to the movies. Then shooting started. They started like shooting at people, and thing got like scary. Sometimes we used to hide like behind buildings or behind cars, so we don't get shot. The army started chasing these guerrillas people, and it wasn't peaceful anymore. Phones, we didn't have fun like the way we used to. We couldn't go to the movies at night anymore. We couldn't go like watch the concerts, go to the arcade games, and our family started getting worried. My mom didn't want me to go out, like not even in the daytime, because sometimes when we were in the daytime they used to like confront, they were shooting at each other, and we used to like kind of like walk across by, they were like dead bodies after a confrontation between the army and the guerrillas. We used to go to school, but then sometimes they closed the school because it was too risky, and sometimes early in the morning we wake up when they were like bombing like a police station, and so it wasn't fun anymore. And then one day my sister, who lived in the United States at that time, gave me the invitation if I want to come to live here. In the beginning I didn't really want it to. Then my older brother decided to come instead of me. He came here, and they keep telling me to come here because they watched the news here in the United States, how bad it was in my country, the shooting and killing even priests, nuns, so it was pretty bad. One day, like maybe 6 months later after my brother came, I finally decided to come over, and it was kind of hard to leave my family, my friends. It was a nice city when I grew up. When we were my friends, we were kind of playing soccer in the field, and then there was like army trucks passed by in the field we were playing, and on the bushes there were like some like guerrillas hiding, and we didn't see them when they were there, and we kept on playing. Then like minutes later they started like shooting at the army trucks, and they like kill everybody. Then when everything stopped, like maybe 15-20 minutes later, after we were like lay on the floor because they were shooting everywhere, we got up and we started running. When we were like running, there was a lot of people running, cars here and there. It was like a chaos, cars going one way. Then there was like the other army coming to like look for the guerrillas, but they were gone. but then they start shooting at everybody. And then there was like army trucks passed by in the field we were playing, and on the bushes there were like some like guerrillas hiding, and we didn't see them when they were there, and we kept on playing. Then like minutes later, they started like shooting at the army truck, and they like kill everybody. Then when everything stopped, like maybe 15, 20 minutes later, after we were like laying on the floor because they were shooting everywhere, we got up and we started running. When we were like running, there was a lot of people running, cars here and there. It was like a chaos, you know, cars going one way. Then there was like the other army coming to like look for the guerrillas, but they were gone. But then they started shooting at everybody. People they see in the way, they didn't care who it was. They shot at the cars, they killed some children, some people, and I kept running to my house. When I knocked on the door, my mom was already there waiting for me, and she said, she hugged me, and like, she told me, no, that's why I don't want you out, I want you to stay home, don't go out anymore. So, like a month later, I was like, almost 18 years old. My sister said it again, like, why I don't come to the United States, but I still didn't want to, because I mean I didn't want to leave my friends and my family behind, my mom. Then one time they got to my house, like the army were searching for some guys. They went by my house. I came out from my house with my hands up. There were some guys like saying bad things to me, like tonight we wanna come and get you. And there was some commander. He was like a commander like from the United States. Like he was like Caucasian, and he says, "Hey, leave him alone because he's just like a young man." So it was kind of bad experience. And then my mom got like really scared because she wasn't at home. My mom kind of very happy. Like my mom went to get my passport because I was really close to being 18, so I didn't have a regular ID card. Because in El Salvador they have something kind of cedula. That was like something you must have when you're 18. But I was close to being 18. So my mom went and got it. And like one day I went to play a soccer game in another city with my friends. And when I got back that night, my mom told me that I was leaving like the next day, like about 5 in the morning. And that's when my mom decided to send me over. Because it wasn't like I wanted to, but my mom really, I didn't want my mom to be like suffer so much every day. That when I left in my country, like I didn't have a chance to say goodbye to my brothers, my sisters, and my friends. I didn't have a chance to say goodbye to anyone, only my mom, because we did kind of early in the morning, so we got into buses, like a lot of young guys, most of them were like teenagers and young guys, and we boarded some buses, and that's how we left El Salvador that day. I cannot even remember what day it was, because you know your mind sometimes is not even into that at the time when you making that step. We took the buses and we arrived to Guatemala like the next day around noontime. To Mexico about 7 to 8 days. And then we kind of, in the border, we kind of like all leave the buses, because that's what they told us. We have to leave the buses and leave everything behind, just bring what we had on, and we on our own, like to find a way to reach to the other side, go to the border. At that time, my sister got a plan for me, but I couldn't reach her at that time when I got there, so it was kind of hard to be like in the border. Uh, I think they call that algodones, some place in the border between Mexico and the United States. Just by myself, I didn't know what to do because I had no one to contact at that time, or like in the middle of nowhere. I couldn't contact my brother that was already here, and my sister was already here. So I ended up like 1 or 2 days in the border, walking to a place to another. I had some little money in my pocket that I was managed really well, not to spend it all. So in the end, I find a friend that was in the same situation that I was, and we find someone there, and we told him what the situation was. These guys, they were like from the United States, they were visiting Mexico. They were like kind of partying, having a good time. And they said they didn't know about how to do those things, but they decided to. We became friends, and they said, well, okay, we're going back tomorrow to the United States. And there were people, they were born here, they spoke Spanish, but they were like United States citizens. So we talked to these guys, and then we talked about how bad was it in our country. We spent like a day with them, and they kind of like feel kind of bad about us. They were a little older than us, and they said, "God, don't worry about it. Tomorrow we go together." He said, "We have our truck on the other side, and we go together in one way or another. We want to make it to," because they were from Los Angeles, and they were like visiting Mexico. So, like the next day at night, they say, "Okay, we wanna like walk through the border, and we wanna run like for hours." And then there were like 3 guys. One of the guys says, "Okay, later we wanna go get our truck, and then we pick you up later by there was like a place name. It was close by. I don't even remember the name, but it was like a train tracks, train station somewhere." And we run all night. For them was kind of fun because they didn't need to do that, because they were like I said, they were like people, citizens of the United States, and like we run from like 10 at night all the way like to 5 or 6 in the morning the next day. Then one of the guys left, and like about noontime he came back with his truck, and with food, chicken, and some Pepsi Cola. I remember that part. And they said, "Okay, just get in the truck," and I like a camper truck. And my friend and I, because there was only 2 guys that, like I said, that we met in that on the border. They were in the same situation. I think he was from Guatemala, and we like related in a way because we were living the same kind of trouble at that time in Guatemala and El Salvador. There was like a civil war going on, and this guy used to be he was like a university professor. So it's like that's one of the memories of that trip. And that day, they drove. We were riding in the back of the truck with a camper. Then we stopped like the next day to Dodger Stadium, and they said, "Trying to call your family, see if they answer." Like 2 days later, I left my sister's house, like trying to run away, trying to go back to El Salvador, but it was a big residential area, and I didn't know which way to go. But I walked like for about 30 minutes, and then my brother and sister were looking for me, and they found me walking like blocks away because I didn't know which way to go. And I told them that I still wanted to go back, but then they told me, it wasn't safe, that my mom was worried, and I was already here, and just to go on. So I really accepted those things when they told me it was really true, that I was already here, and there was no reason to me to go back. And I ended up like talking to my nephews. I enrolled into the adult school, became friends with the school teacher. I told him, because they asked me about histories about the war in Salvador, I used to tell them like how it is. At that time, how it was, And that's how I start forgetting about those things when I start making friends here.